hi everybody who is out there tuning in to our Monday Morning Cooking Club Facebook page. We are, for the very first time ever, coming to you live. Yes, we are alive in the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen. And I am Lisa, for those of you who don't know me. Hey everyone, hope you're tuning in, checking in, liking, sharing, doing all those Facebook things that'll just make our community bigger and better. So let's talk more about the cooking community in a minute, but let me introduce you to the girls, and I'm going to switch between selfie and regular, so let's introduce you. Hey, here's Natty.
Good morning, welcome to the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen, the secret Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen.
And here is Marilyn.
She cracks me up. Hi.
Hello.
And there's Lynn. So we've got Lynn, Marilyn and Natty, and we are going to be cooking today. Can we just shut that door because that reflection's coming back? Thank you, girls. Okay, so let's start
Cooking with honey.
Yeah, so why did we pick honey today is the question. Well, it is Jewish New Year in a few weeks, but that's only part of the reason. We just love cooking and baking with honey. For example, last week, Lynn baked a batch of these honey snap biscuits that come from a girl in Perth, Carolyn Levitt. Thank you, Carolyn, for sharing the recipe. And Lynn baked a batch for us, and I've got to say, someone, that might be me, has been eating them all week because they are so delicious, and Lynn's going to show us how to make them. So Natty, tell us what you're doing.
I am just prepping for another recipe with honey that I'm going to make today. Honey macadamia wafers. A recipe from our first cookbook, a really, really good one, an oldie, but a fabulous one, and very good to show people how to do more than just reading a recipe. So look forward to that.
Yeah, this is a recipe actually from our first book, as Natty said, and in the beginning when we did a lot of cooking demos with our first book, we made this recipe again and again and again because it is so fantastic. Firstly, it takes about 5 minutes to make, and it creates the most beautiful special biscuits. And this recipe is from our first book, which is The Food, The Stories, The Sisterhood, and the recipe comes from Barbara Solomon, and she's been making it for absolutely years.
As
hey,
we
I
all
see.
have.
Hey, Guy. Good morning, Guy. Nice to see you there.
Hi, darling.
I wasn't going to say it's Natty's husband, but it's Natty's husband. But
We call everyone darling.
so anyway, so let's just talk a little bit about baking with honey. What I'm going to be doing today. So back to me for a second. We're also going to be sharing with you a honey chiffon cake. Like everyone knows the standard honey cakes that we all make for Jewish New Year, which are fantastic, which really we all need to have in our repertoire. But this is a honey chiffon, which Natty actually developed a couple of years ago when we wanted something a bit different, and we hadn't come across a honey chiffon cake before. So she has actually baked one. She baked it yesterday and she's brought it today, and I think I can show you what it looks like. Sorry about my hand in the way there. That was a bit... You won't mind that?
Do you want me to unwrap
This is
it?
the cake, yeah. So let's show it. So this is the cake.
I
What I'd
can't
also
see.
like to do, girls, see, this is what happens in the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen is that, you know, I tend to be a little bit bossy, but we won't tell anybody that.
But this now everyone is going to see what really goes on a Monday. We weren't going to say, but we're going to say that it's Marilyn.
Okay, let's get those. We've got to get these honey mac wafers in the oven, so let's just like get them moving.
I thought you were watching me.
Oh, sorry, back
I'm
to
waiting
Natty.
for Natty to make honey mac wafers. I'm just chopping nuts.
Okay.
Okay, so quick, and chop the chocolate too.
All right.
Now, I just want to show everyone.
Oh, hey Esther, so nice to see you there. Thanks for tuning in. And there's John. Hey John, thanks for your comment, John. Yeah, Monday Morning Cooking Club, the movie. We quite like that idea.
I like that.
Don't think we haven't talked about it and wondered who's going to play who. That's an interesting discussion, maybe for next week. So here is Natty cutting out the chiffon cake from the tin. We all know, those of us who have been baking chiffon cakes for years, that the secret to a chiffon cake is not to grease the tin. Because the idea is that when you take it out of the oven, you tip it upside down and you allow gravity to do its work. And it stays really high, even though it's upside down. Then when it's completely cold, you need to cut it out, just like Natty is doing now. And it's actually really good to see, because we've had a few questions when we posted our chocolate chiffon cake on
Okay.
Facebook a few weeks ago. So here, this is what happens next. So this tin, then you've got to push it out from the bottom. This is why you need a removable base tin for a chiffon cake.
Not too bad.
And Maddie's done a really good job because sometimes we all
It is a bit
cut a bit of the cake away.
There's nothing like icing sugar to hide any little bits. See my raggedy edges, which aren't great. And now I'm going to just cut the base off.
So it's always good to have another plate to flip it onto. We just use a plastic plate because it's just lighter. Otherwise you get a bit of RSI from cake flipping, which is not great. So
And
Marilyn's still over there. Hey Marilyn, chopping some chocolate now.
It's actually not RSI, I'm just trying to think. Repetitive cake turning syndrome.
Yeah, it's actually a proper,
What are those
proper
names?
syndrome. We'll come back to that. Lynn, what are you doing over here in the
I'm
corner of the
rolling
kitchen?
out this beautiful pastry for these very delicious biscuits, which, as you know, I made last week and tasted 4 times just to make sure they were
Hi
delicious.
Carolyn, hi from Maryland.
Yeah, I hope Carolyn Levitt is watching actually because we are doing her recipe, but if not, we'll share this with her later. So,
Not my greatest.
sorry, back to the
Cake
chiffon
tip.
cake.
Yeah, not
Okay.
my greatest cutout of a chiffon cake.
Just show
And
the good side.
and I have to say, I would now douse it in icing sugar, and it'll look beautiful. But the thing about this cake that is different to a normal chiffon cake is that we made it with honey. So we've sort of invented a recipe, which I'll just let you know how it tastes. Oh. Tastes like a honey cake, but is light like a chiffon cake. It is so beautiful, and actually quite a nice change for Rosh Hashanah or Jewish New Year if you're looking for recipes
Is
for
that
that.
icing sugar?
I don't know, you've got to check it, tip it into your
Oh,
hand, it may
could
be
be,
cinnamon
yes.
sugar because I've got, nothing's labelled in the shaking department.
No, it's icing
You
sugar.
just lick the plate.
No, I smelled it to check there was no cinnamon in it. But yes, see now look.
Yeah, so this is actually what you do. Icing sugar covers anything you don't want to see.
Sorry about the noise. Ta-dam!
What we also do with this one, when you find the recipe on
Oh, actually, we ice it.
yeah, on the
Yes,
website,
yes.
you'll see, so search for honey chiffon cake on our website. You'll see that we ice it with a lemon icing, which just adds a little bit of tartness, which is divine. But I'd love you to cut a big piece of that, Natty. I think it's actually morning tea time. Does anyone else think it's morning tea time? So,
Always morning tea.
always morning tea time. So, Lynn is cutting out some cookies. I should have actually asked you to bring your beautiful cookie cutters, Lynn. Lynn found this amazing set of about 20 little cookie cutters,
Yes.
from tiny to large. Are they all?
And they're all fluted.
They're all fluted. Beautiful, beautiful things. Anyway,
Where did you get them?
I bought them in America.
we need to
Anyone
find
in
them.
America tuned in?
We need to find them. Okay, so Lynn's putting these on the baking paper. I think we most often use baking paper when we're baking on baking trays because it just saves washing up and it's just, they definitely won't stick. We love it. So Lynn's cutting those out. Maddie's
Right,
going to
here we
cut a
go.
piece of cake from the good side, I think.
Yes. It's
It
beautiful.
actually is a great, great idea.
I want you to smell it. 'cause,
And the
oh,
recipe for
smells-
that's on our website, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful with the lemon icing, I have to say. Now, look at the beautiful colour of that. And just smell that, Lise. Can you
Yeah,
smell
it
the
smells
honey?
really good, actually.
Smells like a honey cake.
I'd like to taste some. Can I just
Yeah.
put my hand in here? That's my
I
hand.
think we should film you eating it.
Oh, it's really good.
How good is that cake?
Really, really different to anything that you've had before. It's
In terms
so
of
light,
chiffon,
in terms
yeah.
of honey cakes.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
light. And it's got tea in it, and you can taste like a hint of that tea, which I really love. And imagine that with a cup of tea and the lemon icing. I think it's a winner. So thanks for sharing, Natty. That's awesome.
Like us on Facebook.
So here we are. I just want to and to everyone if anyone's just coming in to the Facebook Live, we are alive in the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen for the very first time on video. Imagine this. You are getting an inside peek into what we're doing in the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen. Please like us, please share this with your friends, all that Facebook stuff, because we're trying to build up an online cooking community. Imagine if everyone can tune in every Monday morning and see what we're doing just for half an hour or so. see what's cooking, grab a recipe or two. We think it's a really fun idea and we'd love you all to be part of it and your friends. So let's go back to the girls. Enough of me. Let's switch.
Eating the cake.
So Natty's eating the cake. She's actually very
I know,
good at
I meant
that.
to be
Nadia,
cooking.
you making
Okay.
a schmear?
So we need to get these into the oven. So we want to show you how really easy this is. It's a matter of getting your food
I'll
processor.
pass you things.
And we're going to put in the food processor, really all the ingredients just go in.
Softened butter.
So softened butter, if you can't hear that.
Sorry, am I too loud?
No, not at all.
Sugar,
The sugar, the flour,
flour.
quarter cup of honey, and the egg whites.
Do I need to measure the honey for you?
Yes.
A really good tip when you're measuring honey, Marilyn and
You've
Natty,
heat
and
up
we've
the thing.
talked.
Yes,
Oh, that's
what
an
I do.
interesting
That's
one.
what I do. I just pour boiling water
Yeah,
over
me
it.
too.
Oh, I'll tell
I'm
you what
gonna
I do
right
is
now.
I get the olive oil spray
Yeah.
and I spray the container
Yeah.
with olive oil and then
Me
measure
too.
the
And
honey.
then it just comes out.
But
so
I think it's
easily.
easier to do what Marilyn does.
Don't burn
We
yourself.
could
And
have a good
we could
argument
have an
about it.
argument about it.
I actually think this is a good idea if there's no oil in your recipe. But if you've got oil in
Which
the
there is
recipe,
not here.
I'm just saying if there is oil in the recipe, then you can measure the oil first and then measure the honey, and it's really easy then to pour the honey out of the container.
Look
I
how easy this
actually-
was to pour. Excuse me.
No, I think it's a good method. Okay,
Look,
everyone. Okay, I'm going to say this publicly. The girls have a better idea than my idea, which is when you're measuring honey, to put some hot water into the measuring cup or spoon before you measure it, and that way it'll just come out really
And the
easily.
leftovers belong to the cook.
And the egg whites.
And this has got 2 egg whites in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything goes in the food processor. You can see how quick and easy this is. She's just going to zoom it. And zoom is a technical word that we often use in the kitchen. Let's go and have a closer look and see what Lynn's doing.
Okay, these are ready to go into the oven
So they're going to go into the oven and we'll
for
see.
10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm just going to do one scrape down for all the bits that
Okay, so let's see. So those biscuits are going to go in the oven.
busy in the kitchen this morning.
We'll have to go up one, yeah. Okay, in the
And we
oven,
put on a
timer
timer.
on, okay. So that is over here.
Yeah. 20 seconds.
That's it. It's as easy as that.
I just
We've
want to show
also-
you. Wait, I want to show. It's really just a beautiful smooth mixture.
Show us how smooth it is with the spatula. Like it's really just fantastic. If you don't have a food processor, you can do this with hand beaters or an electric mixer. Really, we've done it with a bar mix. We've done it with a
No, when we did it, we didn't have anything. What did we use when we did the MasterChef
A thing.
a whisk.
competition?
A thing.
Yeah, I think we've done it with a whisk. So
And
really
I've done
you
it
can
with
do anything.
gluten-free flour. I've done
Oh,
them
yeah.
chocolate-free. I've done them nut-free. I've done them with seed sprinkle.
Now, but this is the bit that is worth seeing rather than just reading a recipe, because what makes this the most amazing biscuit is how thin you spread or smear your mixture. And the thinner you get it, the better it is. It makes, I think the mixture makes 3.
Yeah, so
of
these are, I've got a wide oven, so my oven's is it a 900?
900.
And I've got 3 oven tray, this mixture makes 3 oven trays worth. That's how thin you need to spread it. And I think that for a regular size oven, you probably get 4 trays or 4.5 trays. If you do it too thick, which a lot of people do when
Yeah.
they don't really read the
Understand.
measurements of the tins
Yeah.
and stuff, which I get, it's not as good. The thinner, the better.
It's still yum. It's
No,
still
it needs to
yum.
be thin.
It's
It's
really
thin.
yum. It's just like a cookie or a biscuit instead of a twill.
Yeah, so this is wafer thin and crisp. The interesting thing about this recipe is that if you make it in Sydney in February when it's really humid, it's really hard to keep it crisp. And so we have been collecting all those little desiccant packets from,
the keep dry stuff.
the keep dry little
keep dry
things
stuff.
that come in
Wraps.
wraps
Wraps.
or tortillas or whatever.
Vitamin bottles.
So keep those, and then they're really good to put in the airtight container with
They
these
remove the
biscuits.
humidity.
Yeah, to stop them from going soggy. So once you've done this, then you need to sprinkle the goodness on it.
I don't know, I want to get it really thin.
The more even it is, and this is where I get a bit anal, pedantic, and I'm never quite happy enough with my result. But the more even it is, then it bakes more even, and you don't get light and dark patches that you're waiting for to cook.
So you're not happy with this, Marilyn?
I'm happy with whatever you're happy with, Maddie. It's my happy day.
So the original recipe comes with macadamia nuts and chocolate. So we are using dark chocolate
I get
chips.
impatient.
And we've chopped them up a bit and chopped macadamia nuts. But you can put whatever nuts and chocolate you like. And we've all been through many sort of versions of it because some of our kids don't like nuts, so we do just chocolate, but I find that a bit sweet. So whatever takes your fancy, go ahead. And then you sprinkle on. You can see Natalie's doing a good job. And Marilyn, this is called Monday Morning Cooking Club Teamwork at its best. It's called synchronized baking.
Like us if you want to see more cooking like this.
So
Because we're having a lot of fun.
please come pop on your Facebook and say hi to us. Say, you know, I see Esther says, you girls definitely need a TV show. Thanks, Esther, for your support.
I agree.
And Maddie says, wow. Yeah, we think it's pretty cool too. Thanks, Maddie. And hi, Kim. Nice to see you there. It is actually a really fun morning, and we are friends.
So
and we
this
love
is what
it.
we've got.
I like every mouthful to have just a teeny weeny bit of chocolate.
Okay.
Okay, so they go in the oven, I think for about 13 minutes, would you say?
Remember, 180, yes. And it's, well, the recipe actually says between 15 and 20, but from 12 minutes on, because everyone's ovens are different, you really need to be watching. It goes honey-coloured brown and then burnt from 1 second to the next. And you need to get it out at honey-coloured brown.
Yeah.
So I can leave it for 12 minutes. I'll put a timer on and then I'll be standing there watching.
Okay, great.
Do I make another tray now?
Yeah, sure. Be great. So let's just talk about, I'm showing nobody there. That's not very good filming, is it? Okay. So what I want to say is that what we do every Monday morning is exactly what you're seeing now, except we don't video it. So
And we might argue a little bit more.
we do, but we're quite good at arguing because I'm not allowed to call it arguing, and you call it arguing, Natty, because they told me I have to call it debating. But we do love a good argument, and how to measure honey, which you just saw a minute ago, is a really good, that really shows you how it happens in the kitchen, because we've all got different views, we're all quite opinionated, and that's what makes this an amazing group of women to be working with, because no one's scared to say what they think, and that's really awesome. So let's just talk a bit more about these things. Let me go back. Let's just talk a bit more about these biscuits that Lynn is rolling out, because what we like about them is that every stage is do ahead. You know, there's no last minute thing. They can't go soggy. They're really hardy, good biscuits. They make a fantastic gift, and you can see how easy they are to roll. Lynn, this has been in the freezer, this dough, right, since last week?
Yes, I made a full batch of the dough, used half of it, put the rest in the freezer, and just pulled it out of the freezer now to make another batch.
Yeah. I just want to skip over to Marilyn, we missed that, but this recipe calls for a lined baking tray, but it's particularly important because when you smear the mixture over the baking paper, which you'll see in a minute, like we just showed you Natty was doing, it will move the baking paper if the baking paper is not sort of stuck down.
Yeah.
So a really good way is to use either olive oil spray or even that, and we don't like to taste it, but if it's between the baking paper and the tray, it doesn't matter, that canola spray from the supermarket. You don't want to eat it?
I would never normally
Yeah.
stick my baking paper down for biscuits or cookies or whatever. This is probably the only recipe where you just really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see she's done a great job of sticking it down from corner to corner
It's actually quite
and
clear
edge to edge. And now she's going to smear, and that is, I think, a Monday Morning Cooking Club technical term. Smear the mixture over the baking paper.
I'm as good at smearing as you are, Natty.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I think you're doing an excellent job,
Just you
Marilyn.
need more, you don't need
Yeah.
enough.
I need more. Right?
And it's easier if you're making it for your first time and you've got all your oven trays ready and you're not sure how thick or thin to do it. If you sort of divide the mixture between the trays that you're going to use, then you can at least work out, how much you need and whether you've got the right amount. So just let me do a little look at the oven. Look at those biscuits in the oven. Do they just look amazing? I think so. and we might get to eat those soon.
I
So-
wanted to say to everyone out there, if there's anyone out there, let us know what you like, what you want to see, because we're so happy. We love doing this, and we're happy to see you every Monday, and we're happy to cook whatever you guys want to see, what you need help with, and ask questions. We're here. This is a big deal having you in our kitchen, so let's make the most of it.
Okay, sorry, back to Lynn. I just want to talk about what's in these biscuits, because we will share the recipe at some point, and it's really simple. It's pretty much flour, baking soda, and spices. It's got brown sugar in it. It's got a little bit of egg, and it's got honey. So it's really just simple. Ingredients you've got in your pantry all the time. Quick and easy to whip up a batch of dough. Stick it in the fridge. Let it rest in the fridge for at least an hour, and then roll and bake. And there you go, really divine. And as I said, Lynn's that she made us the other day with the fluted edge were beautiful. Really beautiful.
And if anyone remembers, a million years ago, Arnott's used to make a biscuit called a honey snap biscuit, you know, the very thin honey, they were just this colour. This is what these are, exactly those. So my mum used to make them, my mum used to have them and make a cake out of them. So I'm really excited that we've found them again, because Arnott's doesn't make them anymore.
That's actually a really interesting. I think we might try that with this batch, because
To make the cake.
yeah, I think that's great. There's a thing. I'm from Melbourne, and I grew up. We used to make a thing called a chocolate ripple cake, and Melbourne people, for some reason, seem to know it more than Sydney people. So you get chocolate ripple biscuits, which are those Arnott's biscuits. And they're a plain, not chocolate coated, but actually chocolate dough, chocolate biscuit. And you sandwich them with whipped cream in a log shape, and then you cover the whole log with cream, and you refrigerate it overnight or for a few hours. And then when you cut it on the diagonal, you get this alternating cake. It turns into chocolate cake. Cake, cream, and it is a stripy cake, and it is fantastic. So that is what Natty's talking about with the honey snap biscuits that her mum used to make. So I think we should actually try that today after we sign off from all of you. I think we might make one of those and see if it works, because you know what? There's something extra to do with it.
Oh, that's another honey cake for if anyone's doing. There you go.
Well, that's right. I think that's a great idea. So let's try it. We'll do that. I don't know if I've got any cream. We'll have to duck out and get some.
Is that enough?
Yeah, and I'll have to check with my mum, because she doesn't
That is
just.
super, super thin.
Yeah,
Super
beautiful.
thin.
Beautiful.
So I'm just going to take you over to the oven, because we might as well show you what's happening in the oven.
Those biscuits.
Oh, they're starting to brown. On
And
the
we're missing Jackie today, I should say, because Jackie is away, having a bit of a holiday. Okay, so they're the macadamia nut wafers in the top oven, and here are the
Which are ready to come
honey
out.
biscuits, which look so good. Okay, so just talking about ovens, I think that the point we really want to make, and we make it all the time, because people email us and say, you know, they made this cake and they put on the timer on the oven for this many minutes and it burnt. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm just going to go back again. These look
I
fabulous.
wish
fabulous,
everyone could
fabulous.
smell
Oh,
the smell.
Can I touch one?
Not yet.
So they're a bit soft still, but they look, like, have a little close up.
As they cool,
They look so
get
professional.
They do, and you should smell them.
Oh, and with the fluted edges there.
I wish we had a little bit of smell-o-vision here, because really the
Yeah.
smell in this
Yeah,
kitchen
the smell is
smells
I
like
need that.
beautiful.
a bit gingerbread man-y, sort of a bit spicy, spiced, and that honey
Thank
is
you,
divine.
Carolyn.
Yes, thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thanks for sharing.
So just back to my little mountains, I just wanted to say that, you know, you can't just look at a recipe and follow the minutes and go away and come back. You've always got to look, let's say, 10 minutes before the cooking time, and that way you can just check that it's not being overcooked. Okay, because every oven is different. That's the bottom line. All right, so let's go back and see. Okay. So Natty, how's it going?
It's actually ahead of schedule, I have to say. There's 4 minutes to go, and it's
It's raw in the
browning
middle.
nicely.
It's raw in the middle.
It's a very hot oven, I think this one. Maybe I'll turn it down.
No, it's still not.
Yeah, no, but
And we love a good argument about whether something's ready or not, you know.
I set the timer for like 1 minute at a time, or I get the iPhone and I go 30 seconds at a time, because I'm so scared I'm going to take them over into burning. but I want them to be perfect.
And because they're really thin, there is a fine line between ready and burnt. So you need to really just watch them, that's all. You don't need to be worried about it or stressed about it.
Don't worry.
Who wants to come over now and have a
as these
biscuit?
cool, they get crisp.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tease having everyone there watching what we cook, watching us eat it, and not being able to get to taste it themselves.
Sorry about that. So if anyone's tuning in just now, we want to say hi. We are live from the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen for our very first baking session. And we'd love to do this every week if people would like to join our online cooking community. We'd really love to grow this community. Imagine if every Monday you knew at 11:30 you could come onto Facebook and ask us baking questions. You know, you might have a dinner party the next week and you want to talk about the menu. We are here to help and answer any questions, because we have had between us lots of cooking experience and we can also learn from you. So let's get this community going, everyone. So please like our video, share with friends, do all those Facebook things. That would be really excellent. So let's go back to the girls and see what's going on. Okay. Bless you, Natty. So this is the batch of honey macadamia
They're
wafers.
almost coming out. I'm just clearing a space.
This recipe comes from our first book, and our first book is Monday Morning Cooking Club, The Food, The Stories, The Sisterhood, which was published in hardback in 2011 and in soft cover in 2013. And this recipe for the honey chiffon cake that we had a little piece of. Natty, do you want to cut another piece? I think we're ready for another piece for morning tea.
I'm the only one that's eating it, and I keep eating it.
So it's just a superb honey cake that is so different
it's really
and
beautiful.
unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's made with tea as the liquid. It's a chiffon cake, so it is totally, totally light. Look how beautiful
coming
so
out
that
in
is.
1 minute. I need you close.
So the recipe for that is on our website. You just need to go to our website, which is mondaymorningcookingclub.com.au, and search for honey chiffon cake. And you will need a special chiffon tin to make this cake. And we can talk more about that another time if anyone's interested. So, Lynn, do you want to talk about these
Well,
biscuits?
these biscuits are now ready to eat. They've come out of the oven, they've started to cool down, so they're really crisp. Can I break one? Here we go.
Okay.
Listen
Oh,
to
did
that
you hear that?
sound.
Yeah.
Listen to that sound.
Can I have a bite?
Of course.
Yeah.
And I've just taken that took, and that took just under 12 minutes to cook.
That
I just
looks
want to
so
point out, see
beautiful.
where it was just a tiny bit thicker. You do get differences in colour, and also I think it's going to keep browning for a minute or so
Yeah.
once it comes out of the oven.
But I'll show you, everyone, now, without burning myself. It's still very soft, see? It's just like,
Yeah, so it's
so you
really...
just put it out and you don't touch it.
Yeah.
And we'll just give it 10 minutes to completely cool, and then we'll show you again.
Can you show us again how really soft it is? Because I think it's actually so amazing to see. It's literally as soft as the
That's
paper.
the paper, yeah.
And you might think it's not good, but in about 5 minutes,
Yeah.
We'll show you how crisp it is.
Oh, smells like,
And you're going away.
it smells like a cooking demonstration in New York. Do you remember how many of these we made?
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did. Was that at...
These are beautiful.
At Italy,
At
we
Italy,
did these.
Oh,
We made these at Italy, Natty, remember?
Yeah, yeah,
And we
and they
also
were
made
blown
them-
away by them.
We also made them at Williams-Sonoma, I think. We did a cooking demo at Williams-Sonoma in New York. And we made a few batches of these, and it was great.
We would love someone from New York to be
Would you like to put
on
these in?
Facebook now and say hi to us. I don't know what the time difference is.
Anyone awake? The biscuits are beautiful. This is all I do is eat in the Monday Morning Cooking Club.
So I just wanted to say this is the biscuit, and it's so crisp and yum and too easy to eat, I've got to say. This whole batch is going to go. They're called honey snaps. They're called honey snap biscuits, actually. They're really good. They're really good. I just have to make myself a cup of tea. That's all. So Natty thinks they should be called honey snaps, and guess what they're called? Let's have a look at is the title there? No, it's not on that page. Honey snap biscuits, actually.
I just love these strokes of genius.
Honey biscuits, but we'll call them honey
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think we should announce one.
Oh yeah, we've got something really exciting to share with everybody because I think we're going to sign off in a couple of minutes.
Just before we go, have a look
But
at
we
this.
just want to tell you the most exciting news for us. We, you know, we love our Facebook community. We love all of you out there. And on the weekend, we reached that incredible milestone. And I remember when we started and how worried we were that we would never get to 1,000. That we now got to 10,000 followers on Facebook or likes on Facebook, and we're really excited about that. So on this very special occasion, we got together and baked some of our favourite pretzel rolls in the shape of 10,000. This. Here we go. Look, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. So happy 10,000, everybody. We're going to actually put these in the toaster and spread them with some butter and eat them for morning tea, along with this delicious cake and the biscuits and the honey mac wafers. But before we go, let's just have a look at the honey mac wafers and let's see if they're getting.
No, I think we
But
need
here's
another
Natty
minute.
doing what she does best.
Eating more.
Eating cake and biscuits, and that's what we love. That's one of the many things we love about
Marie
her.
Antoinette.
Let them eat cake.
I would, if it wasn't for Monday Morning Cooking Club, I wouldn't eat sugar. But so it's a good thing. Yep, I eat sugar.
Okay, so how are they going? Are they ready to
Are you happy with this,
lift
Lise?
up the paper and see if they're...
It is so good. I can't believe
Yeah,
how good
okay.
this cake is.
So have a look
Now
what's
just trying
happened
to come
in a
and
series
snap
of minutes. Have a look, it's really amazing.
In just
And
a few
Perfect.
minutes.
in just a few minutes, it's now gone crisp and solid. And you can see,
I'd give it another minute or two. It's a bit, not yet.
okay,
Almost.
so in a
You can
minute it'll
see.
be ready to break.
you
And I'd
wanted
love
to-
you to see it before we go. And then we're going to sign off. But
Okay, I think, do you reckon that you would get 4 trays out of your mixture?
no, I don't. But if you've got left over, then yes, maybe just try it. Why not? So we'd love to know what you think of this, whether you would like to see more of us on Mondays, whether you'd like to be part of our online cooking community, because we'd love to have you if you want to. We're happy to let you in every Monday that we're cooking, and you can share what's going on in the kitchen, because it's really fun for us. We've really enjoyed this morning. Natty's beside herself with excitement, actually, and that's really always a great thing. Hey, Natty. And, you know, once we get the hang of this, I think we'd love to do it more and more. And if anyone sends us a question, you know, please will you bake a chocolate chiffon cake next Monday? We'll do it. Whatever you want, within reason, we will be happy to do what you want. So please like it, share it, do all those Facebook things so that we can keep doing this. Let's just go back to the honey mac wafers, Natty, and see what. Okay, so here they are now. They're off the tray, and it's really fantastic now. Look, it's gone completely brittle.
So you just
which is
peel
what
the
you
paper
want.
off. Yep. See, I like to do it in quite big chunks. Sorry, that one wasn't. But I think it looks really beautiful on a big platter, served after dinner with fruit or whatever you're serving.
Yeah,
Um,
free form.
Yeah, and you just really beautiful big chunks. It's one of my mother-in-law's favourite things, I can say. See? And
So thanks, Barbara Solomon, for sharing this
Yes.
recipe with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's really a great
Barbara.
one.
Thank you, Barbara.
And
Really
it
great one.
makes so much because, you know, you just get 3 giant trays of it. It's a beautiful thing to be able to pull out, you know, whenever you're entertaining after lunch, you know, to nibble on in the afternoon, after a beautiful dinner. It's just great. I think Barbara did it with her oranges, didn't she?
Yeah, we've got a great recipe
which
in the
goes
first book, yeah.
beautifully
I
with.
think that's it.
And it's actually a good time of year because it's blood orange season, so it's a blood orange compote. So check out our first book,
Yeah.
Monday Morning Cooking Club, The Food, The Stories, The Sisterhood. What I did want to say before is that I told you about our first book, but this is our second book, which came out in 2014. And that's my desk copy, obviously. And we have got such great recipes, and the feedback we get from so many people across the world is that they just work. So grab our books if you haven't seen them. And we're working on our third book now, and that's due out in March 2017, which is sooner than everyone thinks. So I just everybody out there, we're going to sign off now.
Come back and see us next Monday.
From all of us in the Monday Morning Cooking Club kitchen, and give us some feedback and let us know whether you want to see us again next Monday, because we'd love to come back. And please bring your questions with you next time. Don't forget, we're happy to answer anything about baking or cooking or cookbooks. So we're here anytime you need. See you all. Bye. Signing off now. Bye.